Hello, everybody, and my name is Afro D Newgate, also known as Afro Beard. Um, thought I would uh, not only wear my straw hat, but also my Doflamingo style sunglasses. Um, Thought I would show those off to you guys a little bit. Thought those were cool. Anyways, first off, I want to say thank you to everybody who's watching right now. Thank you to everybody who's gonna watch this in the rewind and stuff. I just want to say, please, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I've been doing YouTube for 8 years. I've done over 500 videos, and I just honestly want to get to 1K subs. And honestly, someone who's put in all the work that I have and stuff like that, I don't think there should be any bar to me hitting 1K subs. So yeah, if you could subscribe, that would be great. Thanks, and you're awesome, and I love you, and mwah. Anyways, for all of you who are actually here for content, I'm gonna give you that content right about now. Today, we will be talking about why I personally think that Chopper is the second smartest character in One Piece, second only to, of course, the smartest character in One Piece, who is, of course, Dr. Vegapunk. We are going to get into that. First off, I just want to start off by telling you guys a small anecdote, a small story here. Hey, we got Trixie Anime Hater back in here. Thanks, man, for hitting both live streams today. Anyways, an anecdote. So, back when I did a crap guide to Alabasta, the Black Description, I was talking about the Drum Island arc where we meet Chopper, Tony Chopper, and so pretty much just as a context thing, Chopper is a reindeer who ate the human fruit. This fruit pretty much gives his body the abilities of a evolved primate. And pretty much lets him become bigger, be able to stand on both feet, and to speak English. Well, speak at all. But anyways, I had made a joke back then of who would eat the human fruit. That's the dumbest fruit, because who wants to eat a fruit that turns you into a human? And that joke, every time I see it now, I realize it aged badly, because as we have recently realized, and before I get into this, I'm right now going to give a gigantic spoiler warning to anyone who has not read past chapter, I'd say, anyone who hasn't read past chapter 1045 in the manga, a gigantic spoiler warning. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's your spoiler warning. So, as we now know, Monkey D. Luffy did not actually eat the Gum Gum fruit. The Gum Gum fruit does not exist. The fruit that Monkey D. Luffy ate was the human fruit model Sun God Nika, which is a mythical Zoan devil fruit. Pretty much on the same, it's in the same category as Kaido's devil fruit and Marco's devil fruit. These are devil fruits that turn you into an animal that is from mythology or doesn't really exist. Yamato's devil fruit as well. But yes, he and also Sengoku's devil fruit. That really aged. That joke really aged badly, because of now the most important character in the series turns out to have also eaten the human fruit. And as soon as they revealed that, my immediate thought was of how important Chopper is to the series. Do you realize that Monkey D. Luffy and Chopper have now eaten technically the same fruit? So the main character of the series, who's one of the strongest people in the world, and arguably the weakest person on his crew, have eaten the same type of devil fruit. That absolutely blows my mind. Um. So. Yes, as anyone who's been reading knows, and for the people who don't know, so the Zoans have a few different stages that they can tap into, and so these are kind of all under the umbrella of awakened Zoan transformation. So Zoans can awaken in two different types of ways. The first type of way that a Zoan can awaken is, well, they kind of awaken in the same ways. When a Zoan awakens, their animalistic side takes over, kind of similar to if you've seen what is it, Dragon Ball GT, when Goku turns into into the golden great ape. um and pretty much their animalistic side takes over, and they go one of two ways. Either they go into the beast awakened form, where the animal within them completely takes over their mind, and they in essence just become the animal that their devil fruit is. A great example of this is the jailer beasts from Impelled Down. Um, the jailer beasts from Impelled Down are all awakened Zoan devil fruit users, and but their animal side has completely taken over, and so now all they can do is just rage and pretty much take orders from other people, and pretty much they've just become animals. So like the Minotaurus, um not the blue gorillas. I don't think they count, but like, yeah, the Minotaurus and all the jailer beasts are awakened Zoans in beast form that have lost all sense of their humanity because their devil fruit has completely taken over their personality. Um and then the other way that an awakened Zoan transformation can go is that if the if, like, I believe the will of the user is strong enough, they can actually awaken into a mastered awakened Zoan transformation, which is the technical correct term for Luffy in Gear 5th is a mastered awakened Zoan transformation. This means that the animal doesn't take over, but the user achieves pretty much a higher form. And they it's pretty much what is it, the symbol of being of awakening, or being, having mastered the awakened Zoan transformation, is having the little cloud rings around your neck, which is kind of similar to Naruto's transformation, where anyone who has the Sage of Six Paths power has the truth-seeking orbs on, or floating behind their back. And Trix points out a very good point here. Rob Lucci is also an awakened Zoan. So both Rob Lucci and Kaku have also mastered the awakened Zoan transformation, and so along their necks they also have that kind of swirly ring of flame clouds type looking thing. It's kind of argued whether or not Ido has mastered his awakened form. Um, with how good he is with his devil fruit, I'm pretty sure he has. But some people wonder if that's just the design of his devil fruit. Anyways, so that is the master version. Now I want us to take kind of a trip back here for a moment, and I want us to go all the way back to Drum Island. And in Drum Island, when we meet Chopper, Chopper has already developed a way to, as he calls it, supercharge his devil fruit. What he can do is he invented a medicine before we even meet him in the series. He invented a medicine that he calls the Rumble Ball. Now, what the Rumble Ball does, for all of you who don't know, is the Rumble Ball pretty much makes it so that the Rumble Ball only works with Chopper's devil fruit. When he takes one of the Rumble Balls, it instantly lets him do so much more. It brings him up to another level with his devil fruit and lets him do so much more. If he takes one Rumble Ball, he can transform into kind of a tougher, more buff form, where he is taller, has more strength, and he's pretty much about the same size as regular Frankie. I can't remember what this point is called. It might just be called like strength point or something like that. But that's when he takes one Rumble Ball. When he takes two Rumble Balls, he can access a whole bunch of different points, and like the soft point where he turns his whole body into fluff, or the horn point where he has his horns come out of his head and he can burrow into the ground, or the brain point where he can his intelligence is increased multiple times, and he can actually see enemies' weaknesses and stuff like that. But yeah, he gains access to a lot more different forms there. And then finally, there is the monster point, which is what happens if Chopper takes 3 Rumble Balls in one day. And pretty much the monster point, the monster point is Chopper losing control of his devil fruit and kind of going absolutely wild. He turns into a gigantic monster that is probably, I'd say, about 3 to 5 stories tall, and just it becomes completely out of control. He will attack friend or foe, at least during Eddie's lobby when he first uses it, and he uses it as a last resort because Dr. Kureha always told him never to use a third Rumble Ball in one day, or else he would end up hurting people that he didn't want to. But left with no other options, he used it, and I always like these moments because it so foreshadows stuff. Because Chopper had one of the first moments where a Straw Hat says, "In order to protect my friends, I am willing to become a monster. I'm willing to become something that I don't want to be if it will help me protect my friends." Which I think is really, really cool, because later down the line from that, we have Robin coming to that moment when she comes to her demonial form, and the anime does it so much better than the manga does. But Robin also has that moment where she's like, "Hey, if I have to become the literal devil to save my friends, then I will do that." Sanji also does that when he gets into his Ifrit Jam form, and he's like, "Hey, if I have to become the monster that my father made me in order to save my friends, then I'll do that, just because I know my friends are going to bring me back from the brink if I ever go there." But I like those moments where they're just like, I will accept losing control of myself in order to save my friends. Anyways, so the biggest point that I'm trying to make here is that Chopper's Monster Point is the very first confirmed awakened Zoan transformation that we see in the entire series, which is an amazing testament to how much forward thinking Ichiro Oda has. He was planning awakened Zoan transformations all the way back at Eni's lobby. We're talking like mid chapter 300s in the manga. He was already planning things that were going to happen 700 chapters later down. But yeah, so Chopper's Monster Point is the very first awakened Zoan transformation that we see in the entire series. So Chopper's Monster Point, the technical name for it would be the Beast, Chopper's Beast version of awakened transformation. Now, what I want to point out is that after the 2-year time skip, Chopper is still able to use 3 Rumble Balls to turn into his monster, but has in his Monster Point found a way to control his mind and to keep his mind from just being lost and raging out everywhere. And so in his it's kind of like Hulk, because after the 2-year time skip, he's able to go into Monster Point. He can communicate while in he can speak languages while in Monster Point, and he has full control over his body and knows what he's doing. He's fully conscious while in Monster Point, which is impressive because Chopper took what is supposed to be like your devil fruit taking over your personality, and he forcibly made himself be able to take himself over. So he kind of like it's kind of like honestly, it's kind of like a manual transmission. He forced his devil fruit into the mastered awakened Zoan gear. So that I mean, I think that's really, really cool. I think it definitely is going to have some bad repercussions, because now that he has pretty much cranked his devil fruit all the way up to 11, all the way up, this might mean that Chopper, unfortunately, will not get a true mastered awakened Zoan transformation, which is actually really sad, because that means Chopper might never get the flame clouds that you have in the mastered awakened Zoan transformation form. And that's because he took a faster route than just developing his ability, which I mean is kind of sad. But I just like the biggest point here is that Chopper awakened his Zoan devil fruit through medicine he created before the series even started. He created a medicine that could awaken a Zoan before the series even started. And what I kind of look at it as is like one of his Rumble Balls is equal to one of Luffy's gears. And I think that Oda in Chopper was trying to foreshadow what would be coming for Luffy down the line. Like, Chopper's strength point pretty much equal to Luffy's gear second. And then Chopper's second Rumble Ball, pretty much the same as Luffy's like gear third, gear fourth, Snake Man, stuff like that. And then, of course, Chopper's third Rumble Ball is kind of the same as Luffy's gear fifth, although not as strong, to be honest. But I think that Chopper and Luffy very, very evenly like parallel each other in that. I do think it's kind of different because, of course, Chopper's strength point is kind of more like Luffy's gear third, and Chopper's second rumble ball, or like the brain point, horn point, all that stuff is more like gear second for Luffy. But I do think they very much parallel each other. So kind of what I'm trying to get to here, and kind of my point here is that so Dr. Vegapunk during his time in Mads, and so Dr. Vegapunk, Caesar Clown, Judge, and Queen were all, and Stussy, Miss Buckingham Stussy, or Miss Buckin to a smaller degree, were all part of Mads, which was a league of mad scientists, a league of scientists who were kind of trying to develop and create artificial devil fruits. And oh, we have someone new in here. Tycoon King. Tycoon King said, "I thought Chopper's second Rumble Ball makes him randomly transform." I always thought Chopper's second Rumble Ball. Well, actually, I think you're right about that. I think at first, when he first did it, he would randomly transform, but after the time skip, he was able to switch between his different forms, from brain point to soft point to what was it, horn point, and even kung fu point. Which add that to the roster. My word. After the time skip, like Chopper became Neo, he learned kung fu in 2 years, which is super impressive. But yeah, where was that? Yes, so they were all working on kind of how to create artificial devil fruits, and Caesar Clown ended up creating the smile fruits, while Judge figured out cloning, and Queen went on to develop viruses and poisons and stuff, and Dr. Vegapunk went on to try to make the world a better place and work with the world government and stuff like that, while the rest kind of became pirates in their own right. But seeing as like Chopper was able to oh, that's you said. Oh, thank you. I didn't know that's thing. That is totally okay. Anyways, so seeing as Chopper was able to develop um an awakening for Zoans before the series even started, like I think Chopper is leagues beyond what Caesar Clown, Judge, and Queen were doing, and I think Chopper definitely would be an extremely valuable asset to working with Dr. Vegapunk in the future. And honestly, for After Piece, or what I like to call what is likely going to happen after One Piece, for a future theory, I think that Chopper is going to either restart or create a new Mads as the next Dr. Vegapunk. By the way, I think that I just want to say thank you very much. We have 5 people in the chat right now. This is awesome. But yes, I definitely think that Chopper is going to restart or recreate Mads, but with like more of a better purpose and stuff like that. And if Dr. Vegapunk dies, that is a very big if. I think Chopper would be a great candidate to be the next Dr. Vegapunk, and heck, maybe in the future he even takes on the role of being Dr. Vegapunk, and maybe Dr. Vegapunk isn't just one person, but it becomes a symbol of the current smartest person in the world. And I think that would be really cool if that's how it turned out. But yeah, let's check out the chat and see what people are saying. Trick says Luffy and Chopper are parallel, like artificial and natural for the fruit. I like that you pointed out the artificial thing. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Rumble Ball. It's weird to describe. The Rumble Ball is almost like the hyperbolic time chamber in a medicine because it supercharges your devil or Chopper's devil fruit so that he could instantly access all of the forms that he would have developed naturally. But I feel like it's also like putting nitro in a car. Like, yeah, it's gonna give you a big kick right away. It's gonna blast you off, but it's also gonna hurt you in the end. And I definitely think there's gonna be some consequences down the line of him using the Rumble Ball, but specifically that using the Rumble Ball is going to make it so he cannot achieve a true mastered awakened Zoan form. But he has kind of already made an artificial mastered awakened Zoan transformation, which I think is pretty cool. I will say I hope Oda points this out eventually. I think it's sad that people aren't really talking about like Chopper. I feel like everyone in the One Piece community is very focused right now on hyping up the monster trio, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Jinbei, stuff like that. And a lot of the smaller characters aren't getting a lot of love. Like, so many people don't talk about Robin. They don't talk about how Brook is a swordsman that at the beginning, when he first came into the series, he was confirmed multiple times faster than Light. He's a swordsman that can cut you before you even, when you're 5 seconds into a conversation with him. He's multiple times faster than his movement can't be seen by the naked eye. And I just want to bring up, and I'm going to expand on this in another video, but I honestly think the only reason that Oda had Zoro fight Ryuma was that Zoro was a better swordsman than Brook. Because if there hadn't been that fight against Ryuma with Brook's personality and skills, I would have straight up said that Brook is like second to Mihawk in swordsmanship. But this video is about Chopper. But yeah, and people aren't really talking about Chopper, which I definitely think they should, because he found Awakened Zoan before anybody else did, which I think is really, really cool. To be fair, Chopper could officially be an artificial awakening in Rumble Ball stat. Yes, for sure. And Chopper being a lead for new Mads can work. It would. And I mean, I think because like he made the Rumble Ball to work for himself, but imagine like if there was somebody who accidentally ate a devil fruit and wanted to become really strong or needed to become really strong very quickly, and they came to Chopper and was like, hey, can you help me? And he's like, yeah, I can pretty much create a Rumble Ball for any devil fruit now. I figured out how to do that. But here's the backdraft. Like, you won't be able to achieve your ultimate form. It will give you the strength. It will give you a partial version. It will give you an artificial version of your ultimate form, but you will never be able to reach your full potential. And I think that would be a cool storyline to explore. Anyways, that's about a half hour talking about this. That is why I think Chopper is the second smartest character in One Piece. He created a way to go into Awakened Zoan and then mastered his Awakened Zoan form on his own. I think he's amazing. He learned Kung Fu in 2 years. That's all I'm going to say. Chopper top tier. get back up, never give up, and stay tuned for the next piece of One Piece.